Hi everyone, welcome back. Ram News staff takeover. It's been 1 week since we visited with you. This is Friday morning, the 24th. It's been 1 week since we found out that the governor decided we will not go back to school for the rest of this school year. So today we just kind of want to visit with you about moving forward. We're starting to get some answers about what the next steps in our lives look like. We know that we will not be going back to school. We also know that seniors who had a plan in place and were working towards all their graduation credits will be graduating. If you have any questions about that, you can also contact Ms. Broman. But if you had a plan in place, the plan is for you to receive your diploma and graduate. Please be patient with grades below 12. The district is working hard to make a decision and work on moving students to the next grade, what that looks like, and understanding that everyone is going to have missed out on time at school and working really hard to make sure that we fill those gaps in the fall. Nothing to worry about. Know that everybody is going through the same thing and that we're all working hard to make sure that works. So we just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about what the three of us have been doing since last Friday. Things have been moving very quickly. We found out that we have to move out of the high school building because we're getting a new high school, and the current high school is going to begin construction for its next phase. So we're quickly moving out of our offices as we try to work safely and social distance. So personally, I haven't been to my office yet. I think it's going to be a little weird. I know they've cleared some things out of my office already. And so I'm going in tomorrow morning to remove the rest of my things. But otherwise, I've been spending time communicating through email and things like that. I'm also homeschooling my kindergartner. So it's just been a really interesting week. A lot of emotions have gone into it. Some of you know I was on maternity leave when this all started, so it's been hard for me to not get to check in with kids. I've had days where I've been really sad about things that are happening and are out of my control. So we're going to spend some time today talking about like how to get through some of those things, and then also the good things that are happening, because there really are good things happening. There's lots of plans in place. There's lots of cool things happening. People helping each other out. So Kyle and Misty, what have you guys been up to since we found out this huge news?
I kind of spent the weekend really feeling sad about not being able to come back and see, and then our loss of spring sports and summer sports still up in the air. I'm not going to lie to you guys, I did cry because, my job isn't just my job. My job is really a huge part of my life. And I really love connecting with my coworkers, with the students, even with our visiting guests when we have games and events. Kind of spent the weekend thinking about that, and then kind of went into crazy packing mode here at work and trying to get all of our sports equipment and uniforms and stuff stored properly. And I've been helping with some locker clean out, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. So I've had some bright spots where I've been able to see kids as they've been coming in, trickling in, not gathering up in groups, but being able to get their things and kind of talk about how they feel and how I feel when I see them come in.
Yeah, definitely a busy week. Those that know me know that I try to make a positive in everything. So I am getting stuff done. Unfortunately, with the whole idea of not having school back, and then going to my office and cleaning my office out. I've been, out of the three of us, I've been at the school the longest. I'm old. I've been that's been my main building, even though I go to the other buildings for 17 years. So it's kind of I guess, awakening for me as far as the sadness, like you guys have had, going in there, cleaning out stuff. I know Emily always gave me a hard time with Kadrick's pictures, when he's like 3 that are on the bulletin board or whatever, because I don't ever update my pictures and everything, but going through and taking all that stuff out, and, the juniors and sophomores and the freshmen, we'll get to see them next year. It won't get here soon enough, but some of those seniors I've known since they stepped in kindergarten or first grade, second grade. I got to work with some of them in elementary, and then sometimes when they were naughty and I was filling in over there, and just the personal growth that a lot of them have shown. Wow, I'm very proud of them, and it's really, really tough to think about them missing out, and I think that they're kind of realizing that, the ones that I've talked to, of, things got cut short. They weren't expecting it to be like this. And I know that, we not share the plans that we're working on, because we don't want to, there's so many things that can go wrong with a lot of different things, but it's just nice to hear administration talking about everything they're trying to do to make something happen for the seniors and the younger grades too. So it's been a tough week, just trying to wrap my head around it.
It seems like we're all experiencing kind of a roller coaster of emotions. We're excited to move into a new building. We're excited for our kids who are getting to graduate. I'm sure there's kids who are excited they don't have to come back to school. But there's also sadness, there's confusion, there's, personally, I'm relieved to have a little bit longer at home with all three of my boys, but it's hard. And then I'm also sad for those seniors that they're missing some things, or they're worried that things won't happen. So I think this would be a really good time, Kyle, if you could share for us kind of two things. First, what can we do for ourselves to try and cope with this roller coaster of emotions? I think that it's all sorts of emotions. Almost like I've heard a grief cycle described before. So if you could give us some advice on dealing with those emotions personally, and then if you could also share with us, how can we be a good support person for people around us? So trying to deal with things myself, I'm also trying to help my kindergartner understand that he can't just go to grandma's house, and he isn't going to go back to kindergarten. So could you help answer two of those questions personally and as a support person? What are some things that we can be doing?
Good questions. I would say, you brought up the whole grief process with the loss. Usually when I talk to students that are going through that grieving process for whoever they lost, or whether it be a relationship or anything like that, everybody grieves differently. Some people get angry, some people get sad, some people, love to share stories about person and joke around and love. And so I would suggest everybody be very tolerant of each other. Kind of, what you said as far as, some people being happy. That's okay. If you're not sad and you think this is the best thing that, we got 2/3 of a little over 2/3, maybe 3/4 of a school year in, and then got to take the rest of the time off. And if you're happy about that, that's okay. I mean, that's fine. If you're super sad about this and devastated and don't know, so many uncertainties about the next step in your life, that's okay. That's part of it. That's part of life too, of going on and learning how to go through these things and manage through these things. None of us, and I know a couple videos ago, I joked with Miss Green that she'd been through this Spanish flu. None of us have been through this before. There's a lot of nervousness. There's a lot of, when's things going to get going? What's it going to look like? How does this affect me? And so a lot of anxiety. So be tolerant with everybody. As far as what you can do, get back into your structure the best that you can. Go to sleep at a good time, eat good meals, exercise. I know that we have all of our most of our classes, except for the Iowa Central ones, are voluntary. Do the work, go through it, because that's what you would be doing normally. A lot of kids, and not necessarily during this, but usually when I'm talking to students and I ask, when the worst time is, I already know it usually is. It's usually in the evenings or late at night, when they put their phones down and they're laying in bed with nobody around and nothing around. Those are the toughest times for a lot of our kids. So if you, get up at a good time, you eat right, you exercise, you burn that energy off, it's a lot easier for you to go to sleep at night. That helps, and that's us as adults. And I hate being a hypocrite because, yeah, I'm a little overweight. Well, a lot more overweight. And I could stand some more energy, but actually I've been probably burning more calories lately, doing stuff around the house than I would at my office. So that would be the biggest thing. And I know teachers are sending out stuff, but our whole mission at the school is lifelong learners. And I'm a big one. I really like that. I think that you need to continue learning all your life. And so some of you guys have a lot more time on your hands. The classes, even if you're doing all the volunteer stuff, is not taking up the same amount of time. Learn. If there's something that you wanted to learn all these times, you don't have to get credit for it. It's not about anything like that. Just go learn. I'd hate to know how many things I've learned since we've been off, just researching and looking into things. It's not all about Tiger King. I've learned a lot more besides why it's bad to cuddle with little tigers. There's been a whole bunch of other stuff I've learned. So do that. Learn. Use this free time, to be able to learn and expand your mind. And I guess another thing, going with how everybody's different, the extrovert, introvert, some people are okay with that. Reach out. I think of the technology, and the behind the scenes things. I think Emily and I hadn't talked for 2 days, and she was like, "Kyle, what's wrong?" Kind of a thing. So just recently, and because we talk a lot, I sent Misty a picture of my data. My data for April had not moved on my phone until I finally went somewhere on last Saturday. So 2 weeks I hadn't went anywhere. So reach out, talk to people. Use your text, call people, whatever that is. Do Zoom. I know I was talking to Emily last night. We were doing a game with all my nieces and nephews. I hadn't laughed that hard, since New Year's at least. So just do some of those things. Reach out, keep in contact. I know it's different. I'm in the same boat with Misty. When I went to the school, I ran into a handful of kids, and all of us want to stop and talk. We're all kind of desperate for that. I go get food from the grocery store, and it's the same thing. Talk to the kids. I miss the kids. They miss us. And so it's nice to be able to do that. So keep in contact, through Zoom, through Google Meets, through text, through emails, all those things. Be talking to people. Reach out to people I hadn't talked to for a while too. So that would be a biggest thing too. And allow yourself to feel the wide range of emotions. I know that we keep on putting this out, all three of us. If you have questions, you have concerns, reach out. We're here. That's what we want to do. Some of my kids that I met with on a regular basis before this, we've been doing Zoom meetings. We're here. We want to talk. You have a good joke you want to tell somebody, send it to us. Whatever it is, we're here. We want to help. Reach out to us if you're struggling. And that kind of leads me into the last thing. If you're getting too overwhelmed with things and you don't know whether you can or not, reach out to one of us. Talk to us, and we can problem solve with you. This whole video thing has all started because of questions that kids had. And we figured, I'm a big one on, if one kid has a question, more than likely 15 to 50 of them have the same exact question, if not more. So we kind of want to put those stuff out there, and we're here to help. And that goes with students, that goes with parents too. I've had a lot of contact with parents too. And I know there's a lot of uncertainty, and that's one of the huge things with this, is that we want to get out information as soon as we can, that we actually know for sure that it's going to go. So I guess those would be the biggest thing. As far as with helping others, same thing, be tolerant, be there for them. Remember, when they're talking, it's about their needs, not necessarily your needs. So let them go and focus on them. It is tough. Emily says, having 3 kids, I've got one standing here waiting desperately to ask me questions. I've got 3 different kids in 3 different buildings. So keeping track of them, it seems like it's harder as a parent right now to figure out Seesaw that Kylie's doing, when Camden has to be, on his classes, and then trying to get catered to do his stuff at the high school is really, really challenging to keep on those things, plus do all my stuff. So, you know, you would think it'd be, you know, easier now, but it is tough. It is tough to do that. So.
Thanks, Kyle. Those are some really good things that I think we can all use to help us move forward. And I think that's a big thing of what's going on, is that we are moving forward, and for everyone to know that it's okay to feel that whole range of emotions. It's okay to have all those things happening for us. So while we talk about moving forward, we want to share with you that our plan is to continue doing these Zoom videos. Partially because that's how we cope with things, but also because there's so many things that we want to share with you guys. We've been working on some things in the last week. We think we have a plan to have a college rep on. I know there's lots of questions for people going into college, and I think that will be a great format for them to share some things, and maybe to bring up some questions about what about my transcripts, and what about, you know, these things that I may feel like I've missed. So we're gonna work on getting a college rep on here to answer some questions and maybe give out some good prizes we've been hearing about. We also have some other local people that we would love to share information with you. I know lots of kids are looking at summer jobs, and parents are maybe looking at something to do in the meantime. So we've been talking about getting some employers on here to talk about employability skills and who's hiring and how to snag a good job. So please continue to be in touch with us. We want to know what you want to see on here. What helps you the most? What entertains you the most? How can we help? So we appreciate the comments both on the YouTube channel and also on Facebook. We try to check on those and make sure that we get those answered. I know we had one last time that we're still kind of waiting on an answer, but we promise we're not ignoring them. We're working on them. Misty, do you have your question of the day for us?
I do, but first I'm going to touch on locker clean out. If you haven't been here to pick up your stuff, we are here from 12:30 to 2:30 today. When you come in, there's an interesting process. We ask you a few questions. We take your temperature, make sure you're safe. Nobody that we've seen who's had to turn away, so everybody's had normal temperatures. We ask you to get your stuff out of your locker, take your home, your personal items, school textbooks, books, things like that. We have tables set out for those. Art projects, woods projects, pick those up. With being the building and leaving the building completely, anything that's left behind is unfortunately going to be thrown away. So please come clean out your locker. Even if you don't think that you have something in it, you might have a painting that you did, you know, at the end of first trimester that you've forgotten about that you really love. So there's that. Please come clean out your locker. So we'll be here from noon until 2:30 today, and then we'll have kind of makeup hours, so you're not specifically assigned on Monday to come do that. And stop and say hi. It's nice just to, even from 6 feet away, have a conversation just so I can see that you're okay. And that means a lot to me. So there's that. The question of the day is kind of a personal one, so I need everybody's input, so comment on it. My phone's about ready to die. I need a new phone. Apple or Android? What do you think, guys? What do you think, Em?
I'm an Android girl. The iPhone just is, I don't know, I don't love it. So I'm an Android girl, and we run HP computers at home and at school. So I feel like I can't mix. I can't mix.
And Kyle, what do you think?
I'd be the same. Both of you guys know that technology is hard for me to learn. Or I struggle with it, at least. So that I'd be Android. Getting used to an iPhone is way different. There's just one button there almost. I mean, how do you do that? So definitely Android.
All right.
Perfect.
So make sure that you get your locker cleaned out. Make sure that you answer the question of the day, and reach out to us. Let us know. We really do have some exciting things in the works. Kyle, you want to say something?
I was going to say, yeah, reach out to us. One of the things that I'm really fascinated with is we were talking about before we started filming is that we're doing this because we aren't at work. You know, if we were back in school, Emily would, you know, she'd be trying to catch up from maternity leave. Missy's busy with spring sports and summer sports, and me meeting with kids constantly. So I'm excited about this and some of the stuff that we're doing. So if there's people that you want on this, that you want more information from, reach out to one of us and we'll talk to them. You know, the sky's the limit when it comes to this. So I don't think we'll get, you know, like governor or president on it, but
we could try if we needed to.
We could try.
Okay, so we're gonna keep working on those things, but we wanna work on what you want to see. So be in touch with us, stay well, check on each other, let us know if we can do anything for you.
And we do have an answer to a question that was previously asked. The question came about track pictures, and the photographer has gotten back to me. The lab, the processing has been shut down due to being non-essential. So as soon as those get back to her and are made available, we will get those to you.
Okay. Thanks, Missy. That was a good answer. All right, everyone, stay well. We'll see you next time.